What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show is Success or Failure. I've been doing classes around the world on Access Consciousness and Akashic Records for, for quite a few years. While Access been about 9 years, Akashic Records I've been doing for over 24 years. Actually, exactly, because April 10 was my first class in Akashic Records. And now, look at me. I actually founded the School of Akashic Records, and I've been teaching and consulting, having private sessions, changing people's lives around the world. And actually, my next class will be in Tulum, Mexico, coming up on April 24th and 25th. And now about the show. Success or failure. Everything in this reality is defined by other people, including success and failure. How do you succeed? Are you afraid of failure? What if your fears are the ones that are not allowing you to succeed? Let's play with all of this and how much of that has been influenced by your parents, by your peers, by your friends, enemies, competitors, media, government, all of that has been influencing how you look at yourself, how you value yourself, success, failure. It's all in the eye of the beholder, as we say. And yet, a lot of times, what I find myself, because by other people's standards, I probably am very successful. Not probably, I am. And I would acknowledge that. Um, First, I went through college, medical school, became a medical doctor. While doing that and having my own practice, which was very successful. When I sold it, they valued it at equivalent to 5 physicians, and I was the only one. And I couldn't work because I had open heart surgery. Because of stress, I ended up creating some heart disease, also probably heartbreak from 2 marriages that were not successful. Again, what is success? One of them, I believe, is very highly successful because I have an amazing daughter who is also a friend and companion and amazing person all around, who is also facilitating classes and consulting and being life coach and yoga teacher and changing people's lives. And then after quitting medicine, traditional medicine, I went into healing, like with Akashic Records, as well as access consciousness. I've done Reiki, I've done a lot of different modalities. And now I facilitate classes around the world, literally. I had classes in South America, in Guatemala, El Salvador. I've done classes in Israel, Europe, Italy. Been invited to Taiwan, and now with everything that's going on, I'm waiting for Taiwan to open to do a class there, as well as in England and Israel again. So, according to this reality, I am a success. And yet, somewhere in my world, there is that twist, but I could be more. It's not enough. And there is almost like a crunchiness in my world thinking, oh, wait, I might be a fraud. People like me, but I don't believe in me. And so a lot of times I consider myself failure because there was some little thing during the class or during a consultation, I felt I could do better. So all of that created that duality. Am I success or am I failure? Being a TV host and radio host or whatever podcast host, it's also considered a success. But again, after the show, some days I feel, oh my God, that was amazing. And some days it's like, I should have said this, I should have said that. There is always that, oh, but I might be wrong. Oh, what if people don't understand? Oh, what people don't use the tools? Oh, it's not about the people. It's about what we are, who we are, and how much are we actually valuing ourselves and realizing and acknowledging who we are and what we are. Um, I use both access consciousness tools that was created by Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here, as well as Akashic Records tools. I've downloaded the prayers. They're different tools. One has a clearing statement and bars, which is amazing. If you've never had your bars run, please do experience that because it's pretty much deleting all your points of view just by touching. And access consciousness also has body processes that hands-on pretty much can change anything in your body, as well as symphony sessions. Akashic records have prayers and grace points, which are points on your hand, which also, if lightly touched, can change pretty much anything in your body or in your life. Today, I'd like to kind of like talk a little bit more about Akashic Records because people have been asking me about what is that. Akashic Records, it's a field of infinite possibilities where every thought, every feeling, every emotion has been written, every possibility of every thought, feeling, and emotion, every action, everything we've done, been, seen, all of that, and every possibility of that. You've heard of multiverse and kind of like parallel universes, infinite universes. That's pretty much what it is. It's an infinite field of infinite possibility, infinite creation, infinite pretty much everything. And so, and it's recording everything we do, everything we think, pretty much anything that was going on this planet, all planets, different planets, everywhere in the universe. When I start thinking about it, I can't. The mind cannot grasp that, trust me. It's beyond our limited understanding, even of the universe. Quantum mechanics try to explain that. And I guess if I talk to astrophysics, he might understand cognitively, but it's not about cognitive understanding. And you probably understand much more than you think because you've been there. You've been in that field when you're meditating, if you're meditating, in your dreams. Sometimes you get an awarenesses. You have no idea where it came from. Your intuition, all of that is coming from that field. And that field is not outside of us, it's inside. It's in our hearts. That's why our heart expands when we are kind of like in gratitude, when we feel joy. That's when we are touching that field of infinite possibility. It's very high energetic vibration. It's pretty much when we are us, when we are being us. That's when we are being in that field. I remember first time getting into that field was when I opened my records first. Well, actually, that was before. When I was 6 years old, I had out of body experience and I felt that field of infinite love, infinite possibilities. And I was always searching for that through meditation. I started meditating at 11, doing yoga and asanas and cleansing and trying to get there. Um, Serious meditation didn't start probably till 18. I was a little bit more conscious or cognitive, I would say, and continue with different modalities. Sometimes I would get the inkling of that in meditation or in soul connection. I've done those as well. During creative visualization, sometimes I would kind of like touch on that field. Reiki, awakening, you name it. There were possibilities, but very first time I opened the records with the prayer, that actually vibrational frequency that helps you to get there instantly, it was kind of like, that. And I didn't want to get out. And of course, when you're learning, you kind of like get there for a few minutes and you get out, because otherwise your body is not ready to have that high vibration for too long. It will either kick you out or you have to close it with another vibrational frequency prayer. So with that, I could kind of like see myself a little bit more of what actually was true. But what's interesting, in the beginning, when I would go there, I'm like, oh yeah, that's amazing. Yes, I can know myself. I can, yeah, this is a success. When I get out of it, oh no, I'm failure. All those doubts immediately come back. Self-doubt, self deprivation, kind of like you make yourself lower than um, you actually are. And we'll talk more about that when we come back. It's time for our first break of the show. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is success or failure. And we started talking about Akashic field and how we have the self-doubt. And in the field, there is no doubt. Everything is very clear, because that's who we are. It's not higher, lower. No, a lot of people misidentify that. That in Akashic field we are conducting our higher self, higher soul. No, it's all of us. It's just a lot of times we block certain parts of our awareness, certain parts of our knowing, and limiting it. When we are in Akashic field, we are actually are kind of like us because we're infinite. And all the information is written pretty much energetically in our cells, in the DNA, in RNA. All of that is being kind of like altered throughout lifetimes. Every experience changes our DNA. Every thought, feeling, and emotion can change our DNA. That's why a lot of illnesses, a lot of problems with the body occurs because some of them are from previous lifetimes and some of it from this lifetime, the thoughts and feelings and emotions. Let's say when we don't like something, a lot of times we would say, oh, I cannot see that. I don't want to see it. Guess what we're creating? The DNA is changing now to accommodate the lower vision. So our eyesight will go down. Or if we don't want to live like that, then some deadly disease, like with me, I remember saying myself, I don't want to live like that. And that was about my marriages, my job, all of that. And guess what? I almost died having heart disease and chose not to. And it changed. So what if we are kind of like can change it by using the vibrational frequency? And as I said, you can use access consciousness tools, clearing statements, or you can use prayers. And same goes for success or failure. I've talked a lot about the forgiveness prayer, but there are other prayers in Akashic Records. One of them, and I would like to introduce today, our value, because a lot of times we have no idea what our value is. So one of the ways of using the prayer, Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Source, we ask that we see and know our value, our worth, our needs and desires, so we can create the generosity of spirit in the world that we are. A lot of times, success or failure is judged in this reality by how much money you have, or how many followers you have, or in Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas talks about if you change one person's life, you're already a success. Well, I guess by that definition, I am a success. And still, somehow, somewhere, I still have self-doubt because I haven't changed the world to the way I desire it. Because I'd like the world to be conscious. I'd like the world to have no social isolation. Not so much no COVID, because this is just a virus. Virus has a consciousness of its own, and it's being affected by mass consciousness. We are the one that kind of like making it behave the way it does. Think of like any pets you have, any animal. If you are afraid of a dog, guess what the dog will do? It will bite you, right? If you think the dog is wonderful and kind, he will be. There are classes in Access Consciousness talk to animals where you actually start communicating with animals and you let them know what you desire and they will do it. The, kind of like with animals, just like with the universe, they cannot distinguish between your fears and your desires. So if you're afraid that the dog will bite, it will think that you would like them to bite you. If you think that the wild animal will attack you, it will attack you. I have an amazing cat that actually owns me. So Bella, like any cat, when she plays, she would like to bite and scratch, just like normal cat. And I asked her, it's like, telepathically, it's like, Bella, I don't like biting and scratching. And she stopped. She's licking my hand now instead of biting. Sometimes she forgets and goes for that, or it might be my thought, kind of like going in. It's like, oh, she's not biting. Guess what? Immediately she will. Same with the viruses and bacteria. They have consciousness. They pick up on our thoughts. So if we're afraid to get sick from COVID, guess what will happen? You'll get sick. And I haven't gotten sick so far. How does it get any better than that? And that's, by the way, access consciousness too. Um, and I've been exposed to that on numerous occasions. I was in Europe when it all started, got kicked out from Barcelona when it actually went on total shutdown. I left pretty much almost the last plane out. I think they stopped flying out on Monday. I left on Sunday. So maybe second to the last. Um, my daughter got sick. It was very mild. She had a couple of days of a little bit of what felt like a cold, and that was it. And still didn't get it. So it's about our point of view. Our point of view totally creates reality. So if we feel like success, guess what? We will be successful. It's given. If we feel like failure, and a lot of it has to do with what we bought from other people's point of view. So if we grew up in family where parents always said, oh, you're stupid, you cannot succeed, you're a failure, emotional abuse, physical abuse, there's two ways child can grow up. Either say, fuck you, and actually succeed, or believe them and go into creating a failure mode. It all depends on what we're choosing on one side. On the other, it also the baggage we bring from other lifetimes, because a lot of those points of view are coming from other lifetimes as well, just like our talents and abilities. When the soul leaves the body, it takes all the imprinting with it. And when it goes into the new body, it alters the genetic material of the parents. So it kind of like has a combination of the soul imprinting and the genetic material. And all of that is chosen by the being, by the soul. And all of that is the information that creates our lives. Like I had no idea, but apparently I had art talent. I was not bad at painting and sculpture. I had no idea until I started, but I also had an inkling when I did a regression. And I saw myself being an assistant to master builder at the Chartres Cathedral in France in the 1100s. And also a couple of other lifetimes, which I saw in Akashic Records, where I was an artist as well. So a lot of times we don't have access to those talents unless we ask for them. One of the ways is to see in Akashic Records, what are we capable of? What talents there that we haven't utilized yet? And bring them into existence now using either grace points or the prayers. So our value is a lot of times very helpful with bringing all of that, all those talents into existence. So Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Source, we ask that we see and know our value, our worth, our needs and desires, so we can create the generosity of the Spirit in the world that we are. And a lot of us are here to pretty much change the world. There is an amazing book by Dr. Dane here, Being You Changing the World. And that's exactly what all the modality that I've done, all the teachings that I've read, they all talk about, and especially in Being You book, it also gives you practical tools to be you, like clearing statement and a lot of other tools like who does it belong to. With Akashic Records, there are slightly different tools, but they talk about the same thing, that we can clear a lot of our past that is not working for us and bring into existence past that we can use. Let's say our talents, our ability to make money or to have money. All of that, a lot of times, are blocked by something that we decided in the past. Could be this lifetime or other lifetime. And with all of that, we look in that infinite field of possibilities and see where it's blocked and clear it. Because a lot of people ask me, it's like, why would I need to know what was 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago? A lot of it still blocks and limits our life right now. And there are different tools to clear it. You can use the clearing statement with access consciousness, and you can find out more at the clearingstatement.com website. Or you can use the prayers or grace points. It depends what's easier for you and what works in the moment. Because I found out for some people, a lot of times they try to clear certain things and yet it's still there. One of the things is they have issue with forgiveness. And forgiveness is not the forgiveness of the Bible where somebody hits you and you turn another cheek. No, 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 no. That has nothing to do with that. It's more about letting go of all those hurts and pains and suffering that doesn't work for you. And we'll talk more after our break. This is time for our second break of the show. Um, you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on Inspired Choices Network. And we'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Magic and abundance are everywhere. What if you could tap into abundance and start creating your life with complete and total ease? Working with Dr. Helen Gitlevich will give you exactly that, total ease in creating abundance in your life. Dr. Gitlevich creates classes all over the world, both in person and online. She works with you to create abundance with your money, with your body, with your relationships, with all areas of your life with total ease. Connect with Dr. Helen Gitlevich at creatingabundancewithease.com. Her contribution in your world will be a noticeable gift in a very short period of time. This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome forward, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is success or failure. And well, being a medical doctor, being certified facilitator, body class facilitator, teacher, and founder of School of Akashic Records, it's kind of like looking success according to whom? Is it according to this reality? Or is it according to myself? And a lot of times I found out with me, with other people, the standards by which I judge myself are much higher than anybody else can judge me. So with success or failure, a lot of times I find myself looking at it as like, okay, I did this, it's successful, this is not. And all of it is relevant and totally irrelevant. It's about how we feel. To me, success is about choosing more every single day. Success for me is about finding something amazing in life, something beautiful, and have fun. People talk about what is the purpose of life, because that's kind of like where the succeeded or not. If you achieved your purpose, then you're success. If you didn't achieve your purpose, you're failure, right? Not so fast, darling. I've done Akashic Records, as I said, 24 years and 4 days, or at least actually been there and done. Consultation was about, I would say, a month before. I think I did consultation in March with Elena Lieberman. And it was interesting because people come to me for consultations for the last 24 years. At first, it was just friends and family until I quit medicine, which still makes it about 20 years now. And every single consultation I had, people asked me, what's my purpose in life? Because everybody would like to succeed in their life, meaning achieve their purpose. Every single time, you know what the answer was? The answer was to have fun, to enjoy life. That's what purpose of life is. It's not about achieving some weird ass goal of changing. Well, changing the world is pretty much, if we have fun, we are changing the world. If we have joy, we are changing the world. If we're enjoying our life, if we are being that light, if we are grateful, we are changing the life and we are being successful. It's not about the endeavors of crusades or endeavors of being a CEO of big company or president of big company, have $1 million, has nothing to do with that. Purpose of life is about enjoying life, being grateful for every moment. Look at nature. And I'm looking right now, and there's so much sunshine and blue sky with some white clouds. It's so beautiful. So the purpose of life is to enjoy that and not be in fear of, oh my God, I will get COVID and die. It's about changing your point of view and looking at life as, if I die today or tomorrow, am I happy today? And that's where those prayers come in. Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Source, we ask that we see and know our value, our worth, our needs and desires, so we can create the generosity of spirit in the world that we are. And because if we are happy and joyful, believe me, that will start spilling into the world. And also, if we are angry or fearful, can we be generous? Usually in that state of mind, not so much. People who are angry and who are in doubt, who feel like the whole world owes them, they are not generous. Is it changing the world? Yeah, but is it changing the world into what you desire? Or is it changing into the world what in some places are? I don't desire the world of anger and fear and blame and shame and regret and guilt. I would like the world to be a happy place. And yeah, I know there is, I like TV, and there is a good place, which is a TV show that was supposed to be hell, kind of like to torture people. But actually, what it created was totally different. And what if we stop looking at this world as hell and start looking at it as something that we can change by our own attitude, by our own just choice, choosing joy instead of fear, choosing happiness instead of anger. And what if we can use forgiveness to change everybody and everything, including ourselves? And I'm going to read that prayer right now. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, heard, to anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me, to cleanse me from anything that I have experienced that was done, been, seen, heard to me by anyone or anything, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. I allow the forgiveness of the universe to flow through me to cleanse me from anything that I have done, been, seen, and heard to me by me, consciously or unconsciously, in any time, space, dimension, or reality. It's about shifting and changing. It's not about turning the other cheek. It's not about letting people abuse you again. It's about letting it go, actually, and stepping into your power. But what's even more important, when we let go of our hurts, our fears, our anger, of all of those feelings and emotions that holds us back, it actually helps Earth, our planet, because it takes on all of that. It takes all of those emotions, and that's what's killing Earth. It's not the pollution. Because did you see when the COVID hit and everything closed down, the Earth was able to recover within a week, I think, 2 weeks. And the canals in Venice were clear so you could see to the bottom. Dolphins were swimming there. And the skies, even over China and India, became clear. So, what if our joy is actually what's required now? And there is another prayer that I channeled, forgiveness for the earth. And I love that because it's the one that allows Earth to let go of that too. Because Earth is holding all those emotions for us, so we don't have to. But we still create more. So, what if we stop creating those and start letting it go so Earth doesn't have to? Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Source, we ask to cleanse Earth from anything that was done to anyone or anything on the face of the Earth that Earth took on through all time, space, dimension, or reality. We ask the forgiveness to flow through all the crevices of Earth to cleanse Earth from any patterns of despair and evil. I love that. And there is so much peace that actually fills Earth when we start clearing Earth from all that evil. And I'm going to read it again. And I would like probably to post it in our show so you guys can use that in your daily kind of routine of what you use, what tools you use. Um, it's just simple. Just Read the prayer and let the energy shift and change whatever you choose. Father, Mother, God, Spirit, Source, we ask to cleanse Earth from anything that was done to anyone or anything on the face of the earth that Earth took on through all time, space, dimension, or reality. We ask forgiveness to flow through all the crevices of Earth to cleanse Earth from any patterns of despair and evil. How much are we holding on to all those patterns of despair and evil from even 1,000 years ago, maybe million years ago, or trillion years ago, maybe not even this planet? And we are not even aware that we are holding on to that. Because I'm not sure about you, but a lot of times I would have just anger come up and I had no idea where it was coming from toward like a person that I was with. And during the time that I had Akashic Records, I would look and see where was that coming from. Found out that it was a lifetime we were together and he killed me. I was like, okay. So I would do forgiveness prayer. And a lot of times that anger would dissipate. And sometimes I would use the grace point of the trigger of emotion. And those emotions will start dissipating as well. Sometimes even during the conversation when things came up. And sometimes I would forget to use the tools. It was simple. I was just being angry and I liked being angry. So that's when I felt I was a failure because I didn't use the tools. But was it actually a failure? Mm-mm. No, it created more for me to know where I was not kind of me, because all of those emotions were not me. Those were actually something that was created a long time ago and wasn't serving anymore. And a lot of times now I use access consciousness tools. It's like, okay, that's not mine. Now let's return it back. And all those tools are approaching things from different perspectives. And I use all of them in my daily practice. Sometimes I use prayers, sometimes I use clearing statement. It's just what works. What if it was about, I love the tool of access. What else is possible? What else can I add? This is when nothing is judged, nothing, everything is part of who we are. And I guess it's time for our third and final break of the show. And when we return, we'll talk more about success, failure, and how we can be with our lives. We'll talk about next week and the week after. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Inspired Choices Network. We'll be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
This is the Creating Abundance with Ease show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease. And today our show topic is success or failure. And it's pretty much according to whom. It's about What if it's about our own life? It doesn't have to be that huge success of somebody writing books, somebody, and even those people, by the way, I've talked to some people, and a lot of those people who wrote books and been on national TV, a lot of them still have doubts about themselves, still have kind of like areas of their life where they're not so successful. Because a lot of people have that point of view that you have to have success in every area of your life. You have to have successful relationship, you have to have successful job, you have to have successful money, you have to have successful, and then the list never ends, by the way. Because if there is even smallest thing in your life that is not working, the person already judged themselves not a success. But as I was talking earlier, success of life is just having fun. Are you having fun yet? Are you enjoying every second of your life? And what if it's not the wrongness if you don't? What if whatever suffering you have is actually fun for you? Oops. Are you enjoying your suffering? Are you enjoying your pain? What if you switched around and you actually look at that as something that is maybe fun? Because think about it. The soul actually does not hurt. The soul, you cannot hurt the soul. It's immortal. It goes from lifetime to lifetime from different bodies, and it cannot be hurt. It cannot be killed. Pain is actually part of the body experience. And the body actually have no point of view about that either. Body creates whatever you desire. It's all those synapses in the brain that gets activated with pain impulses, emotional, physical, spiritual, doesn't matter. It's all our judgments that create that. It's funny because it brings up when I was last weekend, I was at advanced body class with founder of Access, Gary Douglas, and his daughter, Grace Douglas. And the very first day, I smacked my head right here on a chair by picking up something. I don't know if I didn't see it or what, but my body decided to create that. And there is a huge bruise that I kind of covered up with makeup. We did the body processes and stuff. And what's interesting, it doesn't actually hurt unless I remember to touch it. It's all about point of view. I mean, it's quite a big bruise. I don't know if I broke it or not, like the orbit, because the bruise is there, but I'm not going to x-ray it because I don't need to know. It's been created for some reason. It gave me a lot of awarenesses about what I'm doing because there is a lot of unawarenesses. And I'm actually having fun with that. I'm like, okay, it's interesting how I created that. So what if we had fun with everything? It doesn't matter what it is. And we will be talking more probably about pain and suffering in the next few weeks. Um, I haven't scheduled the shows, but next week we are going to have an amazing guest, Bettina Madini, who is a contemporary European artist, designer, and Mandala aficionada who combines luscious color and expressive um, motion in her painting. And we will be talking about painting with earth beings. Because not only she is an amazing artist, she also very connected to earth beings, earth entities, and probably to Akashic field. And we'll talk more with her next week, next show, if you tune in. I'm also going to be, as I said, doing Basics of Akashic Records, April 24th, 25th in Tulum, Mexico, and also online. So if you're in Mexico, you can join me there live, or you can join online. It works the same way. And we'll be learning how to open the records, how to look at your past, looking at your present, at your future, all the infinite possibilities, how to see your karma and how to change it, how actually to clear the karma, to erase it with prayers and grace points, and how to start healing your body with all those prayers and grace points, because actually grace points work also as a healing the body as well as clearing. I found out that kind of like we experimented with that because I downloaded them, and when you download something, they don't give you much information about it, just possibly the name and not even that. And with the grace points, found out where somebody fell down and was holding the points for about 10 minutes. And there was no bruises, there was no pain within 10 minutes. And actually that I forgot about doing that when I hit my head. Maybe that was a reminder. Duh. Because a lot of times it's easier to teach than to actually use the tools. I do use the tools though. And I love the joke exactly about that. Two teachers, I think they were talking about math or arithmetics or something else. And two of them go out for coffee and talk. And one of them tells his friend, you know what? My class that I had yesterday, they're so stupid. Oh my God, they're so stupid. They don't get it. And the other teacher says, they're students. You need to explain to them. And he's like, yeah, I explained to them 10 times, 11 times. I already understood it and they still didn't get it. Just saying, a lot of times it takes teaching somebody to actually understand and get it and use it. So besides Basics of Akashic Records on April 24th and 25th in Tulum and online, I'm also doing every single day Access Consciousness Clearings with Rachel Stillburn, Getting Out of Control, in Facebook group, Being You Without Hiding. And you can join the group, it's public group, and you can watch us. It's also posted in Rachel's profile. I also shared it on my profile and Creating Abundance with Ease. And also Global Foundation POP, meaning that I will help people in my house watching Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here facilitating foundation in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And we'll be doing body processes and bars and have fun with that, as well as a facelift. Also some body classes around the world. And you can find out more on my website, either creatingabundancewithease.com or on Access Consciousness website. I love you all. And next week we'll have Painting with Earth Being with guest Bettina Madini and with me. See you next week. Bye-bye. Mwah. And just be happy and have fun. Bye.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and your body.